Hey everyone, welcome back to the Whiteboard app series. In this video, we are going to add a command palette. This will let users modify path properties like stroke width, color, background, and more. If you are finding the content valuable, please drop a like on the videos. It really helps me stay motivated to keep bringing you more. So let's get started. First thing, let's update some dependencies. So let's go to our version catalog file and here we will update few dependencies. First this activity compose, let's update it to this latest one 1.9.2 and next this Android lifecycle this to 2.8.2 and next we need to update the compose multiplatform version. Let's first see what's the latest one. And here type the compose multiplatform version and on this first link of GitHub here scroll down and open these releases and we have this 1.8.0 but it's a dev version, so we will use this one 1.7.0 release candidate 01 and we can just copy it and use it here and sync our Gradle. And Gradle has been synced. So let's close this file and go to the presentation package and this F file. And here the Android Studio is suggesting that we can remove this now. So let's just remove all this. Now first let's run our app to make sure everything is working fine. And here is our app. Now let's minimize all this and go to this presentation and whiteboard package, and in the component package let's create a new file with the name command palette. Since we are going to implement this command palette differently on different platform, so let's create two functions. First this command palette drawer content and next this command palette card, and let's use an elevated card and select this fill max width, and we need the 80% width, and height we will take fill max height. And for this command palette card let's copy this elevated card, but here we need to give the fixed width of 250 dp and the height will be dynamic according to that content. And since this card will hide and unhide, so let's wrap our elevated card inside this animated visibility. And this enter and exit animation we can use this fade in and fade out, and this is visible state we will provide through the parameter. Now let's create a new private function with the name command palette content, and here first let's use a column layout and a text, and this text we will use for showing the name of that whiteboard. For now let's just use this untitled and use this content function to both the card and this drawer content, and go to our whiteboard screen. And here we have the two types of screen, compact and non-compact. So in the compact screen we will use model navigation drawer. This comes with the material 3 library, and we need to provide this drawer state and this drawer content. And after this we need to provide content of the screen within these parentheses. So let's use these four composable function as the content of the screen. And for this drawer state, let's create a state. With the help of this remember drawer state. And initial value we will give as the closed. And in this drawer content, let's use our command palette drawer content. And in the non-compat screen, we need the command palette beside this top bar. So let's use a row layout. Use our command palette card. And we need to provide this is visible state. So let's create a state locally within this composable function. With the help of this remember savable. And use this state here. When the user will click on this menu icon, then we will make this value to true. And now let's run our app and see how these things are looking. And here we have the app. Let's click on this menu icon and we have some card. The height of this card is only showing this much because we only have a text right now. But if I make this window smaller, now let's click on this menu icon and it is not opening. This is because we have not provided the open. Here in this compat block, when user will click on this on menu icon, we need to open this drawer. And for that we have the drawer state dot open. And this open function is a suspend one, so let's use a coroutine scope. And wrap this inside the scope. And this time let me run on the Android phone. And here we have our Android app. Let's click on this menu icon. And here we have our drawer. So we can close it like this. But that text is also there because of that white color it is not showing. So this is how we will add this command palette. And let me show you one more time how this has been implemented. First we have these two blocks compat and non-compat. And then in the compat block we are using a model navigation drawer, and in this drawer we are defining the drawer content and also the screen content with the help of these four composable function. And next we have this non-compat block, and here we are simply adding that command palette card adjacent to this top bar with the help of this row layout. Update one more thing. Here in the app, when we open the drawer, here the drawer is not getting the color scheme. Right now my phone is in the dark mode, but still this drawer is showing in the light mode. So let's correct this thing. The color scheme and the user preferences we will add in the future videos, but for now let's just provide some default values. For that, go to this app file, and here we are wrapping our whole content inside this material theme block. And here we have the parameter with the name color scheme, and let's use this if block, and we have this boolean is system in dark mode, and this function will tell us whether the phone is in the dark mode or the light mode. And if the phone is in the dark mode, then we will use the dark color scheme. This dark color scheme, we are providing the default values which comes with the material 3 library. But in the future video, we will customize this color scheme. And in the else block, we can provide the light color scheme. And this is how the app will detect whether the phone is in light mode or dark mode. And next, let's go to the command palette, and here in the command palette content, we also need a close icon, so we can close this drawer or the card. And let's use a row, and first we will use this text, and here we will use this fill max width modifier. And with this, let's also use this horizontal arrangement to center, and vertical alignment, and this horizontal arrangement we need the space between, because both these things will be placed on the different ends. And after this we can use an icon button, and here let's use an icon, and the icon we will use of close. And copy this parameter and use it for both the composable, and attach this on click with this parameter, and same goes with this card. And next let's go to our screen, and here we need to provide this on close click. First, on this card on close click, we will just update our state is command palette open to false, because we are making this value true on menu icon click. And in the similar way, we need to close this drawer, and we are opening this drawer on this on menu click. Let's copy this code and use it here. Instead of open function, we will use the close function, and everything else will be same. Now let me run the app and show you how this is looking. And here is the app. Right now my phone is in the dark mode, so let me open the drawer, and here is our drawer with the dark mode, and we also have a close icon. So let's click on this and our drawer will close, and also if I slide this on the left, then it will close. Now next thing, let's use the color section. So let me minimize this and go to the command palette, and here in the command palette content, after this row, private composable function with the name color section. And here first we will use a column, and this title we will provide through the parameter. And let's use a spacer with the 10 dp height. And for those color circle, we will use this lazy row. And to this function, we will provide the list of colors, this compose UI graphics. And here use the items block, and we will provide the list of colors. And for each color, let's use a box. First, let's define the size, and next thing, the border with width of 1 dp. This border is for whether this color box is selected or not. and also we will provide the selected color to this function and use this if block with this if the selected color is equal to color, then we will use the border with the help of this material theme dot color scheme dot primary. And in the else case we don't need any border, so we can use the transparent color, and the shape will be the circle shape. And after this border we will have the 2dp padding. Then we will provide the background color of that box, and the background will be the color from this colors list. And again this background will be in the circular shape, and in the last we will use the clickable, and this clickable we will provide through the parameter on color change, and we will provide the new color. When user will click on this box, then we will pass this color, and in this way a circular box will be there for each colors in this colors list. And after all these colors box, in the last we will use an icon of that color palette. And use the painter resource to get the icon. We need to get the first resource directory and then this drawable, and next this image color wheel. And we also need the content description, and tint we can provide unspecified, so the compose will not use any other color. And let's also use the size modifier to this, and this on click we need to provide through the parameter. And we need one more parameter with the name is background colors. And here first let's use our on color palette click, and for this lazy row we need to use this horizontal arrangement to arrangement dot space by with 5 dp, and vertical alignment center vertically. And this color section we also need to use to specify the background color of some shapes. So what we need? We need one more icon for that transparent background, and for that I am pasting one icon in the compose resources, and you can also get this icon from the GitHub repository with this name icon transparent background. And to use this icon first we need to rebuild our project, and our Gradle has been built. So let me close all these, and here in the lazy row let's use a if block. If we are using this color section for the background colors, then we will use an icon. Let's copy this icon code and use it here, and we need to use this inside an item block. And instead of this color wheel we need the icon of transparent background. And next thing we need to use all these modifier on this icon also. First this size modifier and then this border, and here we need to use if the selected color is color dot transparent, then we will give the color to this border, otherwise the transparent color. And here we are not providing the background, so let's use the clip modifier, and we will clip this icon to the circle shape. And when user will click on this transparent background icon, then we will provide the transparent color to this on color change. So this is how our color section will be implemented. And by default, let's use the false value to this is background colors, and scroll up, and after this row let's use a horizontal divider with 20 dp height. This height is because we need to give spacing on both sides of this divider, and let's also give some padding all around this content. And here first we will use the color section for the stroke colors, and the section title will be the stroke, and we need to provide the colors and then this selected color and on color change, and next this on color palette click. So these parameters also we will provide through the parameters. Let's copy these values and use it here. Now we need to be specific for these colors. So let's use the stroke colors, and in the same way selected stroke color, and this one on stroke color change, and this on color palette click for now we don't provide. We will provide this in the future videos when we will implement the color palette dialog. Let's copy these and use it for the background, and attach all these with these parameters. And the colors list we will provide, there will be a fixed color, the black color. So for that we need an updated color list. Like for the background color, that transparent background color, that will be fixed. In the same way for these stroke colors, this black one will be the fixed, and these other colors we will provide dynamically whatever user has selected the last four colors through that color dialog, and use this list here. And to this function we also need one more parameter. First let's use the modifier, and next this selected drawing tool of type drawing tool, and this modifier we can attach to this parent column layout, and this selected drawing tool we will use here with this when this selected drawing tool is drawing tool dot rectangle or circle or triangle. And in these cases we will use one more color section for the background colors, and in the else block we can use just unit, means nothing, and the title will be the background. And same, let's use the background colors, and next thing let's provide this is background colors value to true, and this is how our both section will be placed. And copy all these parameters and use it for both these functions. And here attach all these parameters. And this is asking for that modifier, and let's just use the default value for this modifier, and copy this content function and use it for the card also. Now go to our whiteboard screen, and here this will give error. So let me add those parameters. We can just copy these from here and use it here. So here we need to pass all these values. First this selected drawing tool, and we can get from the state and these stroke colors and the background color. We need a default colors list. This selected stroke color and this on stroke color change we will provide little bit later. First thing, let's paste the default colors list. In the presentation package, create one more package with the name theme, and here one file with the name colors. Here first let's paste some colors and import this color, this compose UI graphics, and to list. You can also copy these colors, and these four colors we will use as the default colors. So let's use this list here, and for background also. And the selected we can just provide for now the first item from this list. And same thing, let's copy from here and use it for the card. Now first let me run the desktop app, and here is our desktop app, and open this card, and here we have a command palette card with these stroke colors. And if I select any of the shapes, and we can see we also have a color section for the background. Right now we cannot specify these colors for the path, but this we will do later. First we need to add two more sections for the opacity and stroke width, then we will add this functionality. And one more thing let's correct is this color palette icon is little bit large. So let's go to the command palette and our colors section. Let's use the icon button little bit smaller. And next thing, we also need some space between these two sections for this stroke and background. So here scroll up in this command palette content. Before this background color section, let's also use spacer with height 20 dp. Hey everyone, if you are finding this tutorial helpful, you will love my premium Udemy course where we will build MeasureMate, a fitness app using Jetpack Compose. We go in depth on the Firebase authentication, Firestore, and more. Check out the course in the description and take your skills to the next level. See you there. Now next again let's create one more section with the name slider section, and we need some parameters to this function. And in this row first we will have the slider, and next we will use a text to show this slider value. This row let's align this center vertically, and horizontal arrangement we will give a space in between these two items with this space by. So here we need to have the value and this on value change, and also let's use the modifier to this slider with weight 1. So this slider will take all the available space. And next, these two values we will provide through the parameter. And this value needs to be of type float. So let's copy this. And next, this on value change. We will pass the new value to this on value change. And let's attach both these things here. And update the name of this to slider value. And this one on value change. And let's also update this to on slider value change. And one more thing we need to provide is the value range. So here we need to specify what will be the range of this slider, and this needs to be the closed floating point range, and by default it has this 0 to 1f, and this value also we will provide through the parameter and rename it to slider value range and attach it to here. And this text here we need to show the current slider value, and this will be a float, so let's convert it to integer value and use this slider section in our command palette content after these background color section. First use the spacer of 20 dp, and again we need the slider section, and the section title will be the stroke width, and the slider value range will be the 1f to 25f. So user can only select the stroke width within this range. And these two things we will provide through the parameter. So first let's copy these two parameters and use it here, and let's be specific stroke slider value, and also use two more parameters for opacity slider value. And attach both these values here, and copy all this code. In between we need some smaller space because the slider will have slightly more space. And next section title will be the opacity, and its range will be from 0 to, or rather 1 to 100. Now copy all these parameters and use it in both these functions, and attach this to this content composable function. And let's also use here in the card. So this will be the command palette code. Now we need these things in this whiteboard screen. And by default let's use 5f, and this opacity 100f, and copy all these four and use it here also. And now let's see how they are looking. And here is our desktop app, and open this command palette, and here we have these sliders, and right now we cannot update these values because this functionality we have not provided yet. And if there will be a shape, and we have the one more section with the name background, and let's also see how this is looking in the phone. and open the drawer, and here is our drawer. And let me again select any of the shape, and here we have the background section also. So now our next job will be to give the functionality to these values so we can modify our paths. So let's close all this, and so first thing what we need to do is let's close these files and go to this domain package and this model and this drawn path. So right now we are only keeping these three values with a path. So with every path, let's also save four more values. First will be this stroke width of type color from this compose UI graphics. This stroke width will be float. There will be the stroke color. This will be of type color. And next we need the background color of type color and also the opacity. So these four values we will also save with the drawn path. Since we have updated this drawn path, we also need to change few more things. Let's press Ctrl B. First we are using this in the path mapper. So here first thing we need to also update this path entity. So let's press Ctrl B and add four more values to this path entity. These four values. Here again the room cannot save the color value because in that table only we can save some simple values. And here stroke color and background color we are providing of this type color class. So here we have two ways to save this color value. First, like we have created this path converter for saving this path, we can again also create one converter for saving the color value. And another option we have simpler one. This color value we can simply save as the integer value because we can extract integer value from this color value. And this thing we will do in the mapper function. First, this path entity we need to provide the stroke width, opacity, and the stroke color and background color. So these color values we need in the integer, and this thing we can do with the help of, first let's take the stroke color, and we have a function with the name to_argb. So this function will give us the integer value of that color, and same thing we will do here. And here now when we will convert from path entity to the drawn path, let's copy these four values, and here we need the color values. So what we need to do, we will use this color class and we can provide the integer value here, the value we are saving in the database. Same thing let's do for the background color. And one last thing we need to do is go to the data package and local and app database. And we need to update the version because we have changed the path entity schema. And now we can close this. And next thing, let's again press Ctrl B. And after this path mapper, we are using this in the path repository and this view model and state. So let's see path repository implementation. And here we don't have any error because we have already updated that mapper function, and this will surely give the error in the view model. Here we need to update these values. So like we are keeping this drawing tool in the state, so again let's go to our whiteboard state and save these values in the state. First thing, that stroke width of type float, and by default we will keep this 5f. And next this opacity, and this will be 100f. And next the stroke color of type color, and by default we will keep the black color, and next the background color, and by default we will keep the transparent color. And these values we will update from the state, like we are updating the drawing tool. And next thing, go to our whiteboard screen, and these values we can provide from the state. And these values we will update through the event class. So let's go to the whiteboard event and create 4 more events. And attach these events to our screen, and we will pass the new value and copy this and use it for this also. And copy all these parameters and use it in our drawer content here. And these events we will manage in our view model. Here press Alt Enter, add remaining branches, and we have 4 more branches. Here we just need to update the state. When the user will click on this background color, then we need to update the background color. In the similar way, let's update these values. This needs to be opacity. I think I need to update this value. So go to this whiteboard event, and this needs to be opacity. So from that event, we are updating these states, and these state values we will save to that drawn path, these values. And from here, these drawn path will be saved into the local database. And those path we are getting here, and go to the whiteboard screen and scroll down. In the drawing canvas, we are getting these paths here. So let's also get all those 4 values. Here the color we will get from the path, whatever color this path have. And next we have this style, and here we are defining the hard coded 10 width. So we need the width from the path, and this path needs to be in the dp value, and let's convert back to the pixel. So those 1 to 25, those will be the dp values, and this needs the pixels, so that's why we are converting that dp value into this pixel value. And next thing, we need to provide the opacity. and opacity. For that, let's create a value, not here but inside this for each block. Let's rename this to simply path, and this will be in the range of 1 to 100, but we need in the range of 0 to 1. Here let's take a copy of this, and we need to update the alpha value with the path opacity. And same thing, let's copy all this, and for current path also let's use this, and this need to be changed to simply path. And one more thing I need to explain is, here for these path we cannot provide background and the stroke at the same time. So either we can provide the stroke or the background. So what we need to do, let's use the when block here, and we need to distinguish these with the path dot background color. And here if we have the background color, color dot transparent, and next we will have the else block. So if the background color is transparent, so we can only provide this stroke path, and if we have some background color, then we can use that background color. Instead of this stroke, we need to use fill, and next we need to use the background color, and same thing let's do for the current path. Now let's run our app and see how this all working. And here we have the desktop app. First let's draw. By default it will draw like this. Now first thing, let me change the color to red, and here we have the red color path, and if I make this blue, and we have the blue path. And now let's update the stroke width to 10, and we have the thick path. And if I update the opacity, and here we have the path with the lower opacity. So all these things are working perfectly fine. Let me check the shapes. So for shapes, by default it has the transparent background. And why this card is not closing, I will see this also. First let's draw some shape, and here we have the shape. And if I update any background color, something like green, and here we have the green background. Also update the opacity to 100, and here we have the shapes. And one more thing, I also need to update here when we are drawing this circle. So the way we are drawing is also need to change, because if user wants to draw the oval shape, then they cannot do so. So this thing we also need to update. And if I don't want any background, so let me update this back to transparent. And here we have the blue stroke width selected, so we have the blue circle, and same this triangle. So everything is working as we expected. So let me see first why this card is not closing, and also that the path of this circle. For the circle path, let's go to the view model and scroll down. And here we are creating the circle path with the help of this create circle path function. Go to this function, and we are providing these two values, but let's provide the way we are providing the rectangle. Copy this code and use it here. So we need the width and height, and we can get like we are getting here, and we don't need the radius now. Now let me see why that drawing card was not closing. So the reason here we are not updating the state on this on drawing tools card close. So we just need to update this back to false. Let's copy this code and use it here. And this time let me run the app in the phone. And here is our app. So by default it will draw like this. Let me update some values. This stroke color to red, and here we have the red color path, and update the stroke width, and we have the thick path. Change back to, let's change this drawing tool to rectangle or this circle. And now if I press this close button, it has now closed. And by default it has this transparent background, and let's select this blue one. And here now we can also draw an oval also. So this is how we have defined the path differently. And here is our circle. And if I need a rectangle, again change the background color to orange. And here is our orange color rectangle. And if I select the pen tool again, so here this is using the fill background. This is why, because when we updated this to pen, so that background color was still there. So we need to update back to the transparent whenever we choose any of these tools. Let's minimize this, and here we have this on drawing tool selected, and here use the when block. And if the event dot tool is rectangle or circle or triangle, then we just need to update this selected tool. And in the else block, we also need to update that background color back to transparent. Now let me run the app again. And by default it has this black stroke, and we can draw this. Suppose if I select the any shape, and by default it has this transparent background, and let me select any color background, and we have this shape. And if I change back to the pen tool, and we have again the, so everything is working as we expected. And that's a wrap for this video. We have successfully added the command palette, and in the next video we will add two more screen, dashboard screen and settings screen, and we will provide the navigation to our app. As always, drop your questions or suggestions in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I will catch you in the next video.